I was lost. I didn't know what to do. So I was just trying whatever I came across. In this country, leverage is a big thing, which means I can ask banks to borrow, like take money on that property.
Yeah.
They are even willing to give up to 95% of the price. When I started looking for a property, my intentions were clear. I want to buy a property that needs some work. I can force appreciate. So I want to sell that property, or I want to refinance, to take some more money out from that property at some point, 1 year down the road or 2 years down the road. And I need similar to me do it. That means I have some kind of a hope that I can do it as well.
In this episode of Wealth Cardio, we're going to introduce you to Aditya, the founder of Win City Real Estate team. So he has transformed his mindset for finances and learned the real way of making money. So he has made over $70,000 on his first house sale. How he made it, we're gonna discuss in this episode. And the main thing is, he's just not an successful realtor, but also a social media content creator with over 71,000 followers on Instagram and YouTube. In this podcast, Aditya shared his life-changing experiences and lessons. So if you want to be a realtor or you want to be an entrepreneur, this podcast is especially for you. Don't miss out this opportunity to learn from Aditya, and welcome to Wealth Cardio. Let's dive into this podcast. Hello, Aditya Kumar Soman. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, brother. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. I've seen your so many videos on Instagram, and I'm so amazed, brother. And believe me, you have something in you. I don't know how to define it, but your videos are such informative, and the way of elaborating things is amazing.
Thank you.
When I saw your podcast, I like videos, and recently you were doing podcasts with five or six more leaders, right? So I saw that. I saw like, I want to do podcast with that guy. So before sending you the message, I was so worried. Like I said, will he gonna reply me? I said, it's okay, let's do it.
Actually, whenever I hear from any desi guy who is young and doing social media, whether even if you didn't have one person on your podcast, I would still say yes.
Okay, that's a positive response for other people who want to do podcasts in the future. So
yes. Because it's I would love to encourage our people, right? Like, we came all the way, left all our belongings, and we want to have a better life here. And I want to do my best to help our community.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So basically, I know so much stuff about yourself, but not everything. So that's also like our audience also doesn't know about so many things about you. So please introduce yourself and how you got into the real estate as well.
Sure, definitely. So do you want me to keep it short, or do you want me to go a little longer?
Whatever is comfortable for you. Okay. I'm comfortable with everything.
Sure. So let me start with this. I have a pretty similar background like many immigrants, right? Like, many of us who come here with a lot of responsibility, financial responsibility for our families. So I'm born and raised in a small village in South India, and my parents are farmers. They worked their ass off for their entire life. They said they borrowed money from, relatives, friends to send me here for education. So I came here in Canada for studies in 2012. I did a IT for my studies, and then, while I'm studying and also after studies before get full-time job, I did all sort of hard jobs, just like, many of us do. Cleaning toilets, cleaning dishes, you name it, like in a factory, the steel industry, there is a factory, like they dismantle all the parts. We have to dismantle, and we have to take different elements from that parts. Like, it's a factory work, like heavy labor intensive. So those kind of jobs, like, did all sort of jobs because, just to survive, right? Like here, if we don't have enough money, we cannot, the cost of living higher compared to back home, and the interest rates are interest for me, the money that my parents borrowed is growing every day because they borrowed for like 2% a month interest.
That's a lot. That's a lot. What time are you talking about? What time was it?
2012.
2012. That's a long back time. Like it's 11 years now, right? It's
Yeah, yeah.
2023.
So
Okay.
we had to work because you have
Yeah.
to pay that off, right? Like that's a responsibility. So long story short, finished my education, got into IT, as a software developer here in Windsor.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just desperate for a job. I was
Yeah.
willing to go anywhere, even if it's Nova Scotia or like even the place where there is no people. If there is a job for me, I would have moved. And it was Windsor. So
Okay.
moved here, going through the job for 1-2 years. I was trying to pay off my debts. Life was going well, but in this 2 years, this is like 2015 and 2016. One thing I realized, off again and again while I'm getting paid and paying my expenses, right?
Yeah.
The income that I'm making was not enough to have the kind of life I wanted. Because I grew up in a small village. My parents was always apart because of financial issues. My dad was in Dubai working as a laborer.
Okay.
My dad put me in school because he wanted me to get good education, and my mom was with her moms. So like whole family was apart for many years, and I knew the pain of not having financial stability. And
Yeah.
here I was so proud to get into IT job because that's a big thing, and I was making like 80,000 per year. Definitely, it's a good income, but after paying my interest, after doing all those things, I didn't see any savings. So that's when I started to look into other options. This money is definitely not enough for me to bring my family together. Or if I want to go spend some time in India, this is one of my dream. Every year I want to go every year 2 months in India, and I've been doing that for the last 3 years now.
Okay.
2 months completely in India, spending time India, or like traveling with my friends and all. That would not be possible if I continue in that job. So I got to that clarity because, and one, I need money to pay the expenses. That's not easy. 2, time. If I say that I'm away for 2 months, my employer is not going to allow me to come back. So that means I have to go back and find the job again. So with that kind of dreams in mind, but I was lost. I didn't know what to do. So I was just trying whatever I came across, like e-commerce, selling products on e-commerce. Didn't work out. I tried pizza delivery. I just got drained because I was working full time IT and then doing this in the evenings.
Part time,
yeah. Even like I remember this, like on New Year Eve, I was driving Uber because generally you get more money on the New Year.
Yeah.
Right,
the
like
tips and everything.
Yeah, tips and you get more.
Exactly.
But my wife was home. I after I came back, I'm like, holy cow! I just lost one of the most important. It's a good memory that we could have celebrated. So, but again, that fueled my dreams even more. Like now, I was like, okay, I gotta do something else that can give me that kind of lifestyle where I can live the life that I want. So I was trying. Found this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Okay.
Through a young guy who was standing on a stage and said, like, this book has changed my life. And I became a millionaire because of this book. And he's like 22 or 23, something like that. I'm like,
what?
Yeah.
22 years old was a millionaire by that book only?
Yeah. That's what he was telling, right? Like, on the stage. Okay. I'm like, I knew this book, but I never read a book in my life.
What was the book's name?
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Even I had read it.
Yeah, but that was my first book. I knew about this book. I never read because I don't have a habit of reading books.
Yeah,
I hated reading.
Okay.
At that point. But when this guy said something, maybe it's the right time. I heard it at the right time where I was already motivated a lot to do
Yeah.
something in life, don't know what to do. So I picked up that book. I finished in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then, my mind was like completely revolving around these ideas. Okay, I need to build assets, get rid of liabilities. That was
Yeah.
in the book, he talks
Main
a lot
concept.
about, yeah, liabilities are something that takes money out of your pocket.
Yeah.
That means you have to spend money on it.
Mm-hmm.
Assets are something that gives you money. That means you don't have to spend money. Actually, you're making money. So that concept, and in that book, he talks a lot about like generally rental properties or, assets. A primary home is the liability. So the idea of rental property caught my attention. So after I finished the book, I went on Google, again, searched for investing in rental properties. And then another book comes up by Brandon Turner, Investing in Rental Properties by Brandon Turner, a guy from Bigger Pockets.
Okay. That podcast.
Yeah, Bigger Pockets.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
big pockets.
Yeah.
That book, I picked up that book, now got into the whole of, okay, how exactly I can buy, because I had no money at that time.
Yeah.
Like I just said, I was just paying off my debts.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, I can save 5,000-10,000. That's all I had. So
Okay.
I read this whole book again in a week or so. Now I got more ideas. Okay, I think I can do it, because, initially before I thought real estate is like, only for who has liquid cash.
Yeah.
Because that's how we do in back home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, everyone buys, if you have to buy a house or land, it's cash. Now it's changing, but the psychology in my head was, I need a lot of money. I never even looked into it. But this time, after reading this book, I understood I can leverage. In this country, leverage is a big thing, which means I can ask banks to borrow, like take money on that property.
Yeah.
They are willing to give up to 95% of the price.
Okay. So I know the concept about leverage, but maybe they don't know about it. So can you please elaborate in a short time?
Sure. So, if I wants to buy a property, if it is, let's say, 500,000.
Okay.
$500,000. So I don't have 500,000. That's a lot of money to save as an employer, who is making $4,000 a month. That's a lot of money, right? Like $500,000 cash.
Exactly.
But because I was working full time, the banks will qualify me based on my income to give me a loan on that 500,000.
Okay.
All I need to come up with is 5% of the 500,000, which is $25,000. And the banks will give loan for remaining $475,000 loan.
So 95% was the leverage here, right?
Yes, exactly.
So, or we can say how much more, I don't know how many X's will be there, but yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So it's, literally you can buy a property.
Yeah.
With someone else, technically with someone else's money.
All right. Okay.
That's
how you did.
Was a big eye opener. That's how I got into, like, I bought my first property in 2016. Disclaimer, don't look for now. I think they're not available now. My first property was like 120 years old, duplex.
Okay.
In a very rough condition. Unbelievable. Like, you would not even, my wife was like almost crying. What did you do? It was like ugly carpets, ugly kitchens for $102,000.
Okay. But what made you buy that?
Good question. Because I learned from Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Poor Dad guy author. So he said, get assets, not liabilities. So the asset is something that can put money into your pocket. So I was looking for those type of properties that can put money into my pocket. And I was looking to, live in one of the unit. I want the other unit to pay all my expenses so that I can save my rent.
Okay.
So that means more money into my pocket, right?
Right. That's right. But how did you find that? Like, how did you find that duplex, but like in that much amount? Although it was old, but still you need to take care of, like, will it gonna be stable? You have to take care of all the insurance and everything. What were the like metrics did you follow?
First of all, very good question. It was not easy because I I started reading books like in September 2016, and I got this
Okay.
property in March 2017 on March 1st. That was the closing day. So
Okay.
this 6 months, what I did was like one, I was reading because I don't know anyone here. I'm an immigrant, no family here, to ask
Yeah.
for help. So
Yeah.
and no freaking knowledge about real estate. Zero. Zero. I was an IT guy.
Okay. Okay.
So there is a lot of big questions. What do I know, right? Like from I got it. There is a lot of things that I have to overcome. First of all, what I learned is I don't have to know everything.
Okay.
I just need to find people who can help
Mhm.
me with everything.
Okay.
That was one thing I learned from these books. So I started looking for local investors who
Mhm.
has real estate license.
Okay.
And luckily, she became a very good friend now. But at that point, she was a stranger. She started investor meetup,
Mhm.
just playing cash flow game. And
Okay.
she and her boyfriend, me and my wife, only four of us, like we were the first members of the club because she just started and I just started looking for and I found that.
It was golden opportunity for you, basically.
Perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
So, because, only just four of us, I was eating up their brain with all questions because they already own like 6 or 7 properties by then. And her boyfriend was mortgage agent and she was real estate agent.
Okay.
So it was like, perfect.
Perfect.
I just got mentors. And
Yeah.
first of all, I don't have to pay anything for them because they're realtors
Uh-huh.
and they're knowledgeable realtors because, they own it. That means, definitely they did something to own it. And also cool thing is they're 22. So they don't even have like, any jobs to leverage. So that means
Mhm.
they borrowed everything, like they leveraged their
Yeah.
network and did something to get to that level. So
Exactly.
literally, I told her, the agent, her name is Cassidy, look, I want to work with you. Please help me. I want to do exactly what you're doing.
Mhm.
Then we started looking at properties. Then we, she used to take me to properties, explain me, you need to do this. Then you will be able to increase the property value this much. And this is the area. This is how much rent you will get. All those things. She started to educate me.
Okay.
And she also, she and her boyfriend, they convinced me saying that, look, you don't have to do the renovations. Even they are 22.
Mhm.
They never did any renovations, but
Mhm.
they know people.
They
They
know.
said, okay, you know what? We'll find you guys.
Mhm.
Perfect. One, I don't have to pay you anything because that's a good thing of having a good realtor, right? Like, so that was a huge, huge step because personally, all my friends, no one knows anything. And when I told them like 20 years old,
Yeah.
everyone's
Everybody say
everyone's
like,
scared. Are you
really?
crazy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's what I would have thought at that time. Like 120. Oh my God, that's a lot. That's a lot,
Yeah.
bro. You shouldn't do that. I would be just saying that at that time. But
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
But
What happened
again,
next?
that same property made me like I invested $8,000 of my money into it. That's it.
Yeah.
And I sold that property after 1.5 years.
Okay. How much did you make?
70,000.
What?
1,000% return on the money. Because
Oh,
look, it appreciated. First of
yeah.
all, I took an ugly property, right? Like, it need all the cosmetic work.
Okay.
And I took money from the bank. I only put $8,000.
Yeah.
It's called mortgage purchase plus improvements. That means the banks will give you, if you qualify for, they'll give you money for renovating as well.
Okay. Okay.
So the property was 102,000, and the bank, I told I need another, like I got quotations for renovations, and the
Mm-hmm.
quotations were around like 25,000 to put a new kitchen, new flooring. This is 2016, by the way, before the material costs gone up, before all those things, right? Before the
Mm-hmm.
prices gone up crazy. Um, so I asked them for all those details. Like, so the quotation I gave them, they said, okay, we'll lend you money on that one too. So, but the condition was I have to put my money first, and then they'll give me a check once they see the property after renovations. So I have to
Okay.
finish the renovations first.
Okay. But
But
you
I had
had
a line of credit, unsecured line of credit. I used that money to do the renovations, and as soon as I'm done, they gave me that money back. So I invested total $8,000, right? Um, and I sit on it because it's my primary home. I'm living in one of the unit. I rented out the other unit. Other unit was paying me like $1,200. It was a 2-bedroom house. At that time, the rent was like $1,200. But it's 102,000 plus that 25,000, like 130,000. The
grand
interest
total.
so not that much, like 2% or something.
Okay.
My monthly,
That's good one.
yeah,
Yeah.
my monthly mortgage was like $400, property tax, insurance, water, all in. I was still making $100 something positive.
Okay. Okay. Means that was a good investment, by the way. But yeah, that was a good way to start. And I don't know how, like, as firstly, I was thinking, like, oh, you did a lot of struggle. But after that, I think that struggle made you so strong that you found
Exactly.
good mentors and you
Yeah.
followed them. Not like, even you asked so many questions that you were saying, right? But
Yeah.
they didn't hesitate to answer any of them. They answered all of them. That's
Yeah.
a big thanks to your mentors, by the way. And yeah, that was a good start. Okay, let's get the ball rolling. So I would
Sure.
say the next question will be why people call like real estate is the safe investment. What is the reason basically behind it?
So first of all, like it's a physical asset.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, there is always a roof needed for people because the immigration in Canada is increasing.
Yeah.
And the rate of renters is increasing. That means like number of people renting versus number of people owning.
Yeah.
More and more millennials cannot afford to own a home.
Right. That's right.
Because the income versus affordability is going up and up. So what that makes, people have to continue to rent. So that means the if you just check on Google, you will see like the amount of renters every year actually increasing since 2005 or something.
Okay.
And it's scary for millennials because they have to be very creative, very uh, committed to get into a house. It's not impossible, but they have to be very committed because they have to save money. They have to make sure they qualify.
Yeah.
So those things not easy because we are on this technological world. Everyone wants to sell something. Everyone have ads. Oh, you got just this nice PS5 came released. New iPhone 14 Pro Max.
Yeah, that's right.
You need it or you don't need it. You just want to showcase and you want to buy all this luxury vacations or the Instagram, the social media, like all this false things makes us spend a lot of money. So it's not easy to save that. So that means there will be more renters going forward as well. So that means there is always customers for your product.
That was a smart answer, by the way. Okay. So there was another question like,
and one last thing that we already discussed is you don't need to have all money, right? Like, if you're buying a stock, if you're investing into stocks, I mean, you can leverage there as well, but it's not as much as real estate. You can be as creative as you want.
Okay. Yeah. The thing that you were telling me already, that happened with me as well. Like I was also one person, maybe till today. So I was also thinking like, I need a lot of money to buy a house. I was living in Toronto, like GTA area. You know that it's one of the most expensive houses market in the whole Canada.
Yeah.
So it was $1 million or more than $1 million. I said, no. I'm not gonna buy a house. I'm good where I am. So then I moved from GTA, by the way, but still there was no idea of me buying a house. I thought like it might not be a good investment. When I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad that you were talking about, so there was one thing that I grabbed, that was never trade your time for money only.
Yeah, that's
right. So that's the actually meaning when I started learning more things. But I didn't grab that thing like your assets should be more than your liabilities, right? You should be focusing more on assets. Somewhere I lost it. Maybe I was not consciously reading, maybe something like that.
You know,
But I,
the
yeah,
interesting part with the books, if you read, it depends on the timing when you're reading, right? You grab what you want. So
right.
probably I was reading with the mindset of how can I make something, more. So like, even if you go back, I read that book, I still have this here. Like, that's my first book always in my desk.
Okay.
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 Those who don't know.
Your best
Uh,
mentor.
yeah. So sometimes when I'm like, little something going on in brain, I just go pick up the book and read few pages. You get something else. So that's fantastic. Again, good to hear people like you who are thinking of making. How old are you?
I'm 25 now.
Man, kudos to you. I wish I started that young, right? Like, if you're someone listening of this age, mm, start learning at least.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
good.
you.
That's fantastic. Glad to hear.
Thank you so much. So basically, like the next question that I had from so long.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I want to buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
As you said, you need to learn how to leverage the money.
Yeah.
So my monthly income would be, let's say, like $4,000. Let's say it.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the criteria that I need to keep in mind when I want to buy a house? Although you have told so many, but this is the first time. I don't know
no, that's
anything.
good. Yeah.
I don't know anything.
So here's the first thing.
Okay.
What's your intentions?
Mm-hmm.
You're single, right?
Yeah.
What's your intentions with buying this home? Because your
Like,
intentions has to be clear.
okay.
Let me take a step back. When I started looking for a property, my intentions were clear. I want
Okay.
to buy a property that needs some work. I can force appreciate. So I want to sell that property, or I want to refinance, to take some more money out from that property at some point, 1 year down the road or 2 years down the road. And I need 2-unit property because I can buy 2 units under 5%. So that was my requirement. I need 2 units where 1 unit can pay to some extent of my expenses. This is 2016, right? The rates were different, the prices were different. But at least now, if you say, okay, I have 4,000 income.
Yeah.
If what do I want from this property? Because I know everyone comes with a different ideology. If you're single, you can find a 5-bedroom house, live in 1 bedroom, rent out the other bedrooms. Or you can buy a 4-unit property, you can live in 1 unit, rent out the other. Or if you're someone who is like, I just want to have a home for myself, I want to keep it under my expenses. But if you're someone who wants to build wealth, start with the option where you can house hack. Use some part of the house for yourself and rent the rest.
The other. Okay.
Yeah. So that you can keep your expenses down. Whatever your current living expenses are.
Yeah, but let's say like they don't have enough funds. What are the options for the mortgage options? Basically, I'm asking about. So
good question. How much are you making right now?
So let's say I'm making a year like 50, maybe say
50,000.
Let's say, yeah.
50,000 would allow you to qualify for 200,000 mortgage.
Okay.
That's a rough number. Of course.
Rough number.
So first of all, the income, you're in a very low tax bracket. Very low income bracket.
Okay.
So that means the first focus I would suggest you is like focus on increasing your income.
Right.
A lot of people get distracted, like, oh, I just want to go borrow all the money and, do private lending, this and that. Yes, those are all options are possible. If you want to get into real estate, you can, borrow completely, almost like with $10,000. There are like lenders who lend up to even 100%, 110%, which means price plus improvements. If you have a good credit, but the interest will be higher.
Okay. There is this so-called term like there is a public lending, like there are public sectors who lend, and there is a private lending.
Private lending is, so the public lending is like traditional banks.
Okay. The private is
private lenders, or it could be, just me, you, anyone.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Even the corporations, some companies lend money for people.
Like there is an interest, right?
Of course, higher interest. The banks, right now, the banks will give you like anywhere 5%, give or take. If you go for a private lender, 12 to 15%.
Okay. But I think for the traditional one, I think we need to have more qualifications.
Yes, correct.
Right. So okay. But but there is one more thing that should I be investing or looking for condominiums or houses for the first time? As I know, like condominiums are much cheaper, like related to houses, but the houses are more convenient to rent out. So that's
Yeah.
the thing.
So again, going back to everyone's situation is different, right?
Yeah.
If you are able to qualify for a detached home
Hmm.
where you can have income good enough to pay most of your expenses, I would go
Hmm.
for detached. But if your income is not enough, buying a condo is not a bad option either. If your income is not enough, right? Like you, or if you're someone busy with your profession,
Okay.
you're in some high profession where you're super busy with your work. You
Hmm.
don't want to worry about the snow cleaning. You don't want to worry about any other activities. Then go for the condo, because condo you have less maintenance comparative to detached home.
Okay. Okay.
So in my opinion, not one of them is best. Like both have their own advantages, both have their own disadvantages. This is where here's my best advice. If you're someone like you starting with no knowledge, less money, or not sure what to do, you have a decent job, then first find a good realtor in the area that you're looking to buy.
Okay. So,
Realtor whom you can
mhm.
resonate, like who is doing what you want to do.
All right. So basically, get the information that you needed and get some good mentoring as well,
Yes, because
right?
realtors, trust me, like my life would not be where I am without my
Mhm.
my mentor. Now I call them friends. Actually, I'm
Right.
going for their wedding soon in mid of this end of this year.
Okay.
Um, Without them, I cannot imagine my life because they helped me a lot to start my journey.
Hmm.
So, because when you don't have any family here, right? We are immigrants.
Yeah,
Not many people I know here who are,
that's right.
I have like hardly two friends that I know previous, like before
Coming
my,
here.
yeah, exactly. Only two friends. That's it. Like rest,
Okay.
everyone is like I new friends I made.
But I think at that time it was not that much craze. Like when you came here in 2016, you said, or like 12?
12.
12. Okay. So when you came here, it wasn't that much craze. But now you have seen it. Like now it's just okay. Where are you going? I'm going to Canada. Okay. I'm also going to come back with you.
Exactly.
Okay. So this is, I don't know. This is kind of not passion.
Mhm.
This is something called the rat race kind of stuff. Like
No, forget
right.
about that part, right? Like, but if you go down, look on the positive side, we
Uh-huh.
have more people who are doing this from a same background. Now I have a
Hmm.
hope. I can. How many people told me, like, bro, if you would not have done this videos talking about your journey, I would not
Yeah.
have done the same.
That's right. That's
Because
right.
look,
Even I'm thinking the same.
because it's simple. When someone similar to me do it, that means I have some kind of a hope that I can do it as well.
Yeah.
I did not find someone from our background, but I thank God I found this good friends. They were Canadians, born and raised in Windsor.
Yeah.
I said, like, I need a good mentor. I don't care who they are, right? Like, they were very, very, very good mentors.
Yeah.
So, but now with the people that we have in this industry, now the immigrant background communities are also growing. So that's actually good, in my opinion, because when we have more people, there is more business opportunities for more people. You
Exactly.
can find good mentors.
But there is a one thing, one main thing that everybody like skips it. So
Mhm,
let's say there are two people. They
mhm,
are from the same age.
mhm.
They are from the same environment. Like they are living in the same city.
Yeah.
So one is let's say one is a millionaire.
Mhm.
One is just working as a labor, right?
Yeah.
So though they both have the 24 hours in a single day,
Yeah.
they both are sleeping as they much have to, they do have to sleep.
Yeah.
But what's the difference between them is their mindset, what they are following, what they're dealing with, what
I
who
mean,
people are involving with them. Like
also, maybe they don't want money. They're not
yeah,
motivated with money.
that could be right too, by the way. Yeah.
So, so many reasons. I don't want to point at the person who don't want to make money.
Mm-hmm.
But all I would say, if you want to make money,
Yeah.
there's options.
Okay. Okay.
I don't even want to think about the person who is not interested in making money.
Yeah.
Because look, in this technological world, like you said, there are only two different people. The people who want it, but they never do anything for it.
Right.
The people who want it, no matter what, they'll do it.
They will do it.
No matter what kind of challenges come in. Because, trust me, even though, my sounding of I did this, I made this much money on that deal, or whatever my journey so far, it sounds simple, but, I know how many times I doubted myself, right? How many times I felt like, fuck, where am I? Right? What am I doing? The first property, like, trust me, me and my wife, we are holding ourselves, and, we are just almost like, what the fuck we just did? Okay. And then I remember another situation, like I literally cried. I couldn't sleep the whole night. I bought a 17-unit building in Windsor. This is 2 years ago. We had to remove the conditions before we have financial like financing approved, because they had a backup offer. We couldn't get the extension, either remove or back out.
Really? How did you manage it?
But let me I'll talk on that one. But let me tell you, on that day night, I did not sleep. That's the one night I remember. I'm a guy who sleeps for 7-8 hours at least. But that night I could not sleep. What the fuck gonna happen? What if? But I still, still did it. That paid off very well. That's a different story. But how I did it, again, I didn't just blindly take risk. I don't want to say I took just stupid risk. No. First of all, it's me and my partner, also another Punjabi guy.
Okay.
Probably, I don't know if you would have seen him. He's also pretty popular on TikTok. Arman.
I might have seen his videos, but not focused.
I made some videos on his video because he bought a Ferrari recently.
Well, congratulations. Then
he's like 27 and actually multi-millionaire, made millions by himself, not from parents.
Okay. He do real estate too?
Yeah, he's also a real estate agent.
Okay.
So before he made this money, right? Like this, he and I found this deal, and I couldn't think of anyone else other than this guy, because he's also investor and realtor. He owns a couple of small properties by this time. I own like a couple of small, and he owns a couple of small, like duplex, triplex, single families. So he said that when we are doing a transaction on some deal, he said, "Bhai, aapko koi property, multifamily mile to mere ko bolo." चलो ठीक है, वो subconscious में है, कि ये बंदा है, he's gonna he'll be jumping when I have an opportunity. So when this property come in, I couldn't resist. I called him up, bro, we have this deal. Do you want to be 50-50 partners? So he said, do you think it's a good deal? And I did. I told him all the numbers. Here is the current situation. Here is how many units vacant. Here's how much we can make the income. Here's how much we can, refinance the property after we do this. If we do all these things, we will be able to take most of our money out in next 2 years. So that, because I was already studying about all the things, right? Like I didn't just blindly jump. I already spent hours and hours networking, reading, right? I already knew the concept, and I was already helping other clients to buy those type of properties. I had small properties, but I was like helping some clients, bought and sold 10-unit building, 20-unit building, 15-unit building, something like that. So it made a lot of sense for me. And I already spoke to the mortgage guy. He said, I think I don't see any reason for both of you not getting it, because we were making good income from sales. We both are, making more than 6 figures. So the mortgage guy said, I don't see any reason for you not getting a mortgage, but I don't have an approval. I'm confident. That's what he said.
Okay.
So that gave us some kind of look. In the worst case scenario, we'll borrow the private money. We'll hold on to it because the biggest thing is you have to know your thing. Because I did it doesn't mean it will work for you. You need to know yourself better. Like me, I partnered up with this guy because he also have active income, good active income. So that means, if any worst thing happens, we can survive. We can hold on to that property. So I did all the worst case scenarios. What is the worst case scenario 1? What is the worst case scenario 2? What is the worst case scenario 3? Does it still make sense for me to go ahead for this?
So that I wouldn't call like, yeah, you were right. I wouldn't call that was a risk or crazy risk. None of them. So that was a proper plan that was executed with proper caution. And but the main thing was your goal was fixed. When you said like you're gonna, borrow money from the private lenders, but you knew that I want to buy that property means I want to buy that.
Yeah.
Because maybe there was no want. There was I will buy that property.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah,
because by this time we already did the due diligence. By this time we did the inspection. By this time, we did the environmental report for multifamilies. You need all those things.
Yeah.
Everything looking attractive to me. So I'm like, fuck it. At this point, if I don't pull the trigger, I'm not going to get it.
Right.
I won't be able to know what's the other side.
You know that this is your chance. You took the shot.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So there is one thing more in this last conversation that I found out. Like you talked to that guy, right? So you partnered with him. Like you came together. That's how you bought the big step property. But like you might have bought it on your own, but as well. But it might take you a few more years.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Until you are financially free, like at that level. But there is one thing comes up, that is the networking.
Yes.
Right. So what are your strategies and how do you build a like strong network or contacts?
Honestly, I'm so opponent to say like strategies. I don't call it a strategies. I would just say intentional about building relations. I'm always intentional, which means like, I will build a good relation with anyone whom I come across.
Okay.
So my intentions are genuine. Like if I'm talking to you, I want to help you the way, whatever I can, whenever I possibility. Like now, my way of helping you is you wanted a guest. I said yes.
Right. That's right.
So that's my way of helping. Now, will you forget me?
No, never.
Right. And I'm genuinely like, when I'm doing the podcast, I'm giving you information that, genuinely will help your audience. Because I came through those situations. So now we made a connection.
Mm-hmm.
Now I remember you, no matter when, now I might not be able to respond to everyone, but when I see your DM now, oh, this guy, we did a podcast, right? You never know where the life will cross. You will present us connections sometime, someday in future. But that's now I'm making this connection. And you're on my social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when the opportunity presents, either you give me business or I'll give you business. We don't know.
That's right.
But I built a relation.
Yeah.
You built a relation. We both built a relation, right? Like that's intentional, I'm calling. Build relations. Be this person who thinks that what the fuck I need from this guy.
Okay. So you don't...
If you're like that, then you would not build a genuine good relations. And if you don't have good relations, you won't be able to,
Yeah. So there is a one thing that I want to know about. Like you have so much experience, right? So some people call me like, you don't call us. But my thing is, I only try to contact them or only try to talk to them from whom I can learn something. Let's say I talk to you. I learned so many good things. There's nothing in between. Yeah. But I only love to like talking to those people from whom I'm learning, basically. I love enjoying with my friends. I'm not saying that I don't like it. I love doing fun activities, but most of them should be like when I'm learning something or when I'm grabbing something new.
Yeah.
So is it good or not? So in my perception, I'm thinking it's a
here's what I would say. Not only just learning, right? Like, so there's difference between spending time versus giving your time for everyone. So you're spending your time in the things that you love to do. You want to build something, right? That's you. I'm the same. I don't talk to my good friends and I have some like handful of very good friends.
Right.
And they don't even, like, in the beginning when I was starting my career, they used to say, like, why don't you call me? These things used to happen. But I made it clear, bro, you're still my best buddies. I
Right.
love to hang out with you, and I will hang out with you whenever time presents. If I'm not calling, that doesn't mean that, we don't have a relation. That means I'm doing something that makes me,
Who you want to be.
worth living in this world.
Right.
And I want you to do the exact same thing. And whenever we both find time someday, we'll hang out. That's my way of communication with my friends.
Right.
And the relations that I'm building, pretty much my most of the day-to-day life is like I'm hanging out with my team. That's intentional because, my team need my support. They need to, the more I hang out with them, the more they open up with their struggles so that they can find solutions. I spend time with going for networking events because, like you said, not only just the people I can learn, also people I can teach as well. Because, you never know where the relation come from, but like-minded people who want to do something in life, not just the one who just want to sit around, do nothing. Because, I don't say that is wrong. All I say, I'm not that. Your mindset is not that. You're not that same mindset. The people who are in that mindset, it's better to, spend less time with them, spend more time with the people who are like you, who wants to do something in life, because there is more activity, more positivity, more intentional purpose for life.
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking in my mind, that I'm on right path and I should follow it. Like from my inside.
Don't feel guilt for it, because if some friends makes you guilt, that means they're actually not your real friends.
That's exactly what I'm telling you. Like I was telling them, like, if you know, like you are my best buddies, then you should know me, like what I want to be, what my dreams are. And I'm not going to forget you wherever I am, but I'm not going to forget you. Right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. Like I'm right now at like a middle class, and tomorrow I'm at a higher class. I won't forget you ever, because you are the buddies that I ever needed for my time when I'm alone, basically. Right. Or when I'm happy.
And when you need any help, I'm here.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what I tell my friends, only few friends. Now, some people I don't even explain, because they don't even understand who I am. They don't even know who I am. There's no point even you spending time to explain them. It could be even brother or sister, or, if people don't understand who you are, what you want in life, what you're going towards, it's better to cut them out.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, basically, let's get back to the business.
But it's a very important. Like, I'm glad you bring that up, because we especially from back home, we go through this a lot, because we always want to stay together, right?
Right.
So it's important.
All right. So we used one term, technology, right? So let's say you're also was in IT and you came into the real estate. So there are some people like who are in technology, but they want to do well in real estate. I have seen it as you're also an example, right? Yeah. So how do you think in the future technology gonna play a big part in the real estate? Sorry.
I mean, look, simple example. Do you talk to real estate agents or investors whom you see on the billboards, or do you talk to someone whom you see on social media?
Social media.
More.
Social media.
Whom do you want to do business with more?
Obviously, social media, yeah.
Right? Because the billboards are the old style. There is just phone number, call me. It's just direct sales. Nowadays, no one likes that.
That's right. That's right.
Because the shift is, even if you're outside, where are you spending your time?
Online, basically on social medias.
Right?
Scrolling on Instagram and everything.
Scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on YouTube. So if you're not there, slowly you're going to lose your business.
That was exactly the answer that I needed to hear. I wasn't sure. Like I was thinking, like everybody's saying, like technology is gonna play a big part. Even Gary Vee, You
Mhm.
always talk about it. You
I'm a
should
huge
know.
fan. Jab, jab, hook.
So basically, he was always telling like, be a guy who knows about technology. Like there's everybody, right? So that's why I was curious, like how it's gonna play a big part in real estate. But that was the answer that I was looking for. Okay. So there is other misconception that some people say that only buying unconstructed houses, like they are in construction, we should buy only those because their price is gonna be higher in the future. Is it correct thing or no?
You're talking about pre-construction,
Yeah,
right?
pre-construction. Sorry.
So I see that it's pretty popular in GTA area
Yeah.
because you don't have to have a loan.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people think that because they don't have to have a loan now, they
Mm-hmm.
book the pre-construction with the hope that it's going to increase in price.
Right.
You don't have too much control over that. I do have pre-constructions. I still have like one in Paris. I haven't closed. The closing is like probably mid of this year. But there is pros and cons.
Right.
When you're doing pre-construction like that, you got to be aware of what you're getting into. How are the numbers? Where are you going to bring the money from on the closing?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people, what they do, they just don't think about the worst case scenario. They just, the news I saw that about 2 million, the Uber driver buying a $2 million home.
Even I saw it. Yeah.
So someone who is doing like that, like not just him, right? Like many people like that who buy
Mm-hmm.
1 million, 1.5, $2 million home, just because the salesperson or whoever they're working with, they said, oh, you know what, you just put 100,000 now. Trust me, this property is going to be 2.5 million. You'll make 500,000.
Right.
But they don't talk about how they have to qualify for that mortgage 2 million. Then they have to close because the market shift like this, there is a price drop. So they cannot assign, they cannot sell. They were only betting on increasing in the price.
That's the thing. That's why I call misconception. Like I thought, like why people are thinking always like buy pre-constructed houses instead of the constructed one.
Exactly. Here's the pre-construction that I own. Here's where I feel comfortable. Especially again, if you have deep pockets, that's nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know yourself better, where you're standing currently. So I bought a property in Paris. This is like 2 years ago. It still haven't closed, but when I booked it, it's a detached home for 650,000.
Okay.
So I did my math. Okay, first of all, I need 20% down, and I need to qualify for that mortgage on closing. And what's my action plan? Do I want to keep it? Because the worst case scenario is I have to close it, right? If I can assign and make some money, that's fantastic. But always look at the worst case scenario. When the market shifts, I might have to close it. Am I in a position to close it? That's the first question you have to ask if you're buying pre-construction. Are you in a position to close it? And after you close it, will you be in a bad position to hold it?
Okay.
Will you be in a good position or bad position to hold it? What I mean by that. Now you close the property. How much money can you make from that property?
Right.
What is the potential income from that property? And how much more expenses will you have to hold that property?
That's going to be like pre-planned already.
Exactly. Are you in a position to hold on to it?
Okay.
When you don't ask those questions, you're just blindly buying because everything is going up. Let me jump in.
Right.
I come across those houses again and again. I never get into those because for the same reason. I want to know what's my worst case scenario. If my worst case scenario, I cannot close, I cannot hold on to it, I'm not going to buy it. Even if it appreciates by, 200, 300, 400,000, I don't want it. Because I'm not in a position to take that kind of risk, because just one downturn like this can crush me. Whereas resale, you can find different wide varieties of properties, lower, cheaper, ugly properties. You can force appreciate. the property value.
Yeah.
Because if it's ugly, make it nicer, your property value will go up.
Right.
So you can control where pre-construction. If you don't have a proper plan, a lot of things you cannot control because you just need to wait until the builder gives you. That means timing is not in your control.
That's exactly right. Right. By the way, like, I think that's the financial literacy that everybody needs to know. It shouldn't be like, how much money, okay, you have saved this much money. Okay. I'm spending that much money. But some people don't know like how to keep saving their money, but in a proper mannered way. Like even if in the future, if they want to buy a house, they should have the amount for closing as well, like as you told. But I don't know the concept difference between the when we buy something or when we close something. What is the concept that you used? I didn't know.
So come again with your question again. Just
like the thing is, like as we said, like some people think like they should buy pre-constructed houses.
Yeah.
But there is a date for closing as well that they use. Or I don't know who placed that date. Like on this date it's gonna be builder. Okay.
For some, like there is good things about pre-construction as well. For example,
okay,
your situation right now. You don't have full money.
Right.
You have 30,000 right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can save more money in next few months.
Okay.
If you're buying a resale, if you need more money, like in GTA, you cannot buy $1 million home because you need almost 200,000 or 100,000 at least.
Right.
So you have that money. So instead of waiting, if there is a good pre-construction opportunity, you can buy with some amount right now. You pay like 20,000, 10,000 deposit, and then 1 month down the road you can pay and more. So you don't have to qualify for a mortgage right now.
Okay.
So, but you're confident that by the time the closing date comes in, which is set from the day one, on the day you're buying, the builder already gave you the closing date. But you always expect that will extend for 100 days.
Because it depends on the builder, by the way, right?
Correct. So, it depends on, and that's why
we never know.
Finding a good builder is also very important.
Right. Perfectly right. Builder and realtor, both.
Yes.
There comes in.
I mean, if you're going into, again, same thing. Even those builders, like I didn't know anything about the builder. I found a good realtor in Toronto. I didn't buy with my license. I partner up with people who knows. When I'm going into something new, I partner up with people who knows what they're doing, who are good with what they're doing.
Okay. So, by the way, what are the trends do you think in the future like related to real estate market? Do you think it's gonna be crazy? Like people gonna be so crazy? Like recently, like 2 years ago, I know that almost half of my friends wanted to be realtor, but only few of them was able to achieve that goal.
Yeah. I mean, so because they look at this social media again.
Yeah.
Good realtors. Some of them are smart, or some of them are just showing off.
Right.
They see these top people. Only top people will show up on the social media, right? Like only people who are doing well in their marketing show up on social media. So they see the lifestyle of that person. So if you're getting into real estate only by just seeing someone else, then you think, I can do that too. That's fantastic. That's a good motivation. But you need work ethics to get there.
Discipline.
And real estate is not as simple as many people think. It's not just opening the door and showing the property. You have to first find that client. And there is so much freaking competition. There is like 60,000 realtors in some thousands in Ontario. Like in Toronto, 20 or 30,000 something. I don't have on top of my head, but thousands of realtors.
Yeah.
In Brampton, probably if you go into a street, at least each street of 10 houses, you will see one realtor.
One realtor, as we know, like in India, it's engineers, and GT there are realtors.
It's like realtors, right? So then what you do matters, because now there is so much competition. How do you going to stand up? How do you going to stood up? How are you going to put yourself?
Doing something exceptional, right?
Yeah.
So, that's right.
You will be able to get ahead in this business and you can survive in this business. What's the success ratio in real estate sales?
How much?
Less than 10% of the agents across Ontario. I think this survey I saw in online a year ago. Less than 10% in GTA. Realtors make over 100,000.
How much? How much?
Less than 10% of the realtors.
Yeah.
Make over 100,000. Like make more than 10 sales.
Okay.
Only
Less
10.
than 10%. So I can say like 6,000 people, almost 6,000 people in the Ontario, we can say, are the people who are making like more than $100,000 a year. Okay.
That much. So that means you have to become one of that 10% to have a good life. But the cool thing with sales, how much amount of work you want to do, like how much hard work you do, how much smart work you do, that much results you can get. Whereas job, no matter how much you do, your boss maybe will give you another $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
But here,
that's right.
If you do, like again, it's a lot of things together. It's not, job is like someone just give you work, you do it, you're done, you go home. But here you have to find your own business, you have to do the marketing, you have to do your own bookkeeping, you have to make sure your clients are happy, you have to make sure all these things go well.
Right. That sounds good to me, by the way. But there was a thing that just popped into my mind that we tell people, okay, like as we were talking about the influence of social media, there are some realtors who just used to say to people like, okay, do realtoring, like this is easy, you can buy easily houses, you can sell them easily, this is the profit that you're gonna get, right? That's how people are getting influenced, but not using their own mind. That's how realtor thing happened 2 years ago. I think now it's lower down again because the prices went up. Everybody's saying, like, housing market is so crazy right now. Some people call it bubble, which not actually a bubble in my perception, although I'm not a realtor, because I'm looking at the stats right now. Like all the inflation is high, but people are coming already in Canada day by day. Like as last year, 500,000 people, right, came into Canada. They need a place to live. They need food to eat, and everything gonna be hiked up. So that's normal. It's
there is always demand.
Yeah.
People who do well will survive. People who just get with this fake or fake image in their mind, just thinking of money, will die.
Right. So there are last two questions now.
Sure.
I'm not gonna take a lot of your time.
Yeah.
So there is one question, like there are so many young people like who are watching you, even maybe one of me as well. One of them is me as well. So they feel intimidated or like unsure about their future, to where to start for investing in real estate. What are the like few things, like 2-3 things that you want to tell them? Like, okay, start concentrating on those things and you will be successful.
First thing, start reading books.
Okay.
Second thing, start in networking with other investors.
Okay.
And then third thing is get your first primary home, not with the intention to live in it, have a beautiful home, with an intention to make it to make some returns on that property.
Okay.
So that buy an investment property, but buy it as a primary home, because you can buy for as less money as possible.
Right. So first is reading. Reading, second, networking.
And then buy your first property. For that, just get a good realtor in hand. Don't ask them for cashback. Just ask them how they can help you. What is their experience? How long they've been in the business? How many properties do they own? If you see someone who has good knowledge, who own multiple properties, then the cashback is $1,000, $2,000. This is very stupid psychology that I have seen in our community. But if you ask for the right agent who has knowledge, can save you and actually help you to make much more money in future, because the knowledge you're going to gain. The people who do cashbacks, like at least majority of them I know, do it as a part-time job. They don't do for For them, making one sale is like I show the house, whatever the house they like. They're not going to educate you. They're not going to tell good and bad. They're not going to teach you that much.
Right. Okay. That's just they want to make a sale, not build a relation, basically, I would say.
No, not only just that, right? Like they don't have experience and knowledge that you wanted to help you to become to invest more and more.
Okay.
So find someone who has knowledge. And when you find someone who has knowledge, pay them rather than asking them to pay you.
That's right. Okay. So we come to the last question of this podcast. Until now, like if you have reached on this section, I would highly encourage you to follow Aditya. His social account links will be in the description. Please follow him. And if you have any concerns about real estate, you can contact him because he's a genius as far as I know for this conversation as well. And I've seen so many videos as I already told you. So we come to the last question of this podcast, which is what is the best advice for money that you got till today?
That's a tough one. For money, specifically making money.
Yeah.
Pick anything that where you can make money. Like pick any skill set. Like for example, I picked sales. Like even though I look like an investor, but really like my sales actually funded most of my confidence of investments and all. So I picked sales because I felt like the sales is something in me. So you pick something where you can increase your income. Do it to the fullest, increase your income as much as you can. That's the best advice that I got. So that's why I focus more on sales.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. So I think that was it for this podcast. And it was pleasure meeting you and pleasure talking to you. And you are such a humble guy. You remember like 2 hours ago, our podcast was scheduled 2 hours ago, but somehow it got missed. Like there were some reasons, but then you called me. I said, what? Aditya is calling me. I said, okay, never mind. So then you said like, can we do it again? Like it will be easy kind of stuff. But yeah, thank you so much, Aditya, doing that much for us. And
no problem, brother.
And we hope like
to see you grow.
Thank you.
I'll keep an eye on you.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. And I will be following you. You will know like I'll be growing for sure. I know that. And there are so many other people who's gonna look at our podcast and watch it, and they might like get so many good things from it as well. And that's it. We'll see you.
Need any advice in Windsor market? Just reach out because my team here helps people like you who wants to get started, how to find money, how to find deals and all. We can discuss more on that.
Oh, sorry. There is one thing. What is the name of your team, by the way?
Win City Real Estate Team.
All right. Win City Real Estate, right?
Yeah. Okay. We just ranked number 24 in Canada, EXP Canada.
I saw your shot at that. I was just looking into it. Then you called me. I said, okay. I missed that. Okay. It was 23rd, right?
24th in Canada. And it's been only like, 4 years. So that's huge milestone. There
is a long.
Yeah. So, but again, we can help you, any way you're looking for. If there is anything I can help you with, just DM.
All right. Sounds good. There is a long way to go, brother. That's it for today's podcast. And I hope you got everything that you needed to be answered. And otherwise, if there is still some things, you can comment us in the comment section and we will reach out to you. Till then, bye-bye. See you. Ta-da.
Take care.